What's poppin', everybody? This is Cerebral Fighting 4, and it's about time we'll look at the best cards from our upcoming set, Rebuild Clash, coming out in a few days. It's another one of these huge sets, 192 cards, so pretty big, but slightly smaller, you could say, than the other ones from Sun and Moon, like other ones like Cosmic Eclipse and what have you. So, in my opinion, the two best cards from this set, the cards you really need to get, are eldegoss V and Boss's Orders. Let's actually look at Boss's Orders first. These are basically power play tactics that are returning in the form of different cards. So Boss's Orders, this card right here, is essentially Lysander, but it's Giovanni on the artwork. I know many people would rather have the Guzma effect that forces you to switch to, but this is still a card that pulls an opponent's Pokemon. It's Lysander, and it is going to win games, so be prepared for it. The rules, like I've said, it's going to be like how Juniper, Sycamore, and Magnolia work. You can't use this in Expanded along with Lysander, but I mean, you can use Guzma anyway if you want to have like 8 different switching cards or something, pulling cards. And then the other card is going to be Eldegoss V, that was just, there it is. So Eldegoss V is VS Seeker, but we're getting this in a Pokemon this time. It's a VS Seeker on foot. You play this down, kind of like a Tapu Lele, kind of like a Shaymin EX, Dedenne, you guys know the drill. And you get this effect off. Get any supporter from your discard pile into your hand. So, just like I compared them to Dedenne, Shaymin, and Lele, I believe this card is going to be of that same caliber of a support Pokemon. It's just too much of a stable, too easy to use, powerful, and it can make itself in basically any deck. Obviously, it does have some drawbacks from being a Pokemon rather than just being an item straight up via Seeker, but it has a lot of advantages too, like being able to search it into your hand. It's essentially like a via Seeker on foot, like I've said. You can search it since it's a Pokemon. And since we get Boss's Orders in this set too, which is a Lysander, that sort of combo has been around, since forever. You discard the Lysanders or the Guzmas early game, and then you get them back when you need them to win the game. Just powerful stuff. And you can get any supporter anyway. So these would be the two biggest cards from this set. Now I'm going to go kind of the typical route. We're going to look at all of the V Pokemon, the VMAX Pokemon. Well, it seems like Rillaboom is first. And then look at some other key trainers. There's a lot in here. So the VMAX Pokemon in this set, we get a few good ones. They just do heavy damage. You got Rillaboom VMAX. You need to evolve from Rillaboom V, of course. This Pokemon is also pretty solid. High HP, V Pokemon. Wood Hammer, it does 220. It's kind of that damage that can take care of a lot of other, V Pokemon and maybe GX Pokemon in one shot. So kind of decent. You're going to damage yourself, but it is what it is. Grass does a lot of healing. Forest Feast, you can gather grass Pokemon too. That can be helpful. Fire is a problem, but I guess the good thing about these kinds of Pokemon and Rillaboom VMAX is that if you're down in one shot by fire Pokemon, but you can get one hit knockouts too, then it kind of becomes a little bit even. This Pokemon is really good as well, Rillaboom VMAX. Discard energies, grass energies, and do more damage. It starts at 130, and you may discard up to 3. You can essentially do like max 280 damage, so takes care of a lot of key Tag Team GX Pokemon and V GX Pokemon in one shot. 330 HP, big ass guy, starter, Rillaboom. Some very, very obvious synergy with the Rillaboom, the regular Rillaboom with the ability from the first set. Get that guy out, put energies on the big guy, and you basically have a Rillaboom deck for the Rillaboom lovers here. So, this probably, involves too many Stage 2 and Stage 1 guy, I guess, this card. So, it might not be very consistent. Of course, you can still use the Alolan Exeggutor and Rowlet for as long as it's around, but it's a VMAX Pokemon. It's strong. It's got high HP, so never know. It's one of the best cards for sure. One of the better VMAX V Pokemon here. So looked at Eldegoss V. Now I'm going to look at Appleton. This isn't really one of the greatest cards, but it's another effect that can be really powerful. This is basically Pokemon Catcher on an ability too. They're giving us a lot of these effects on like abilities and changing them up, but this is Pokemon Catcher or Pokemon Reversal, flip a coin, and if heads, you can pull an opponent's Pokemon. You can do this every turn. Since this is an ability, this is a stage 1, so it might be worth it for some decks to get out and try and get this sort of effect. I mean, with Boss's Orders and Eldegoss V, it's probably better to just go that route, but it's another one of the better cards here, so I just thought I'd mention it. The next V Pokemon is Ninetales V, Fire Pokemon, so it's going to get the support from Welder and all the other cards, Hearth. You guys should be familiar. So, kind of weaker than Rillaboom. I mean, 200 HP. This is kind of like GX standards, you could say. But it's got two really solid attacks, I suppose. A nine-tailed shapeshifter. You choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So it's got to be the active Pokemon, and it does cost a few energies, like it needs a fire and 2 colorless. So it's not exactly free like some other Pokemon that copy attacks with cheaper energy costs. But it's pretty powerful. I mean, if you have the right foe in front of you and you copy its attack, I mean, you can do some crazy combos with this, copy some crazy attacks, and do crazy damage. Flamethrower is sort of your conventional attack. Just this 180 and you can discard. You have to discard, actually, an energy from this Pokemon. But as a fire Pokemon, I mean, it won't be difficult to power up for as long as we have Welder. Maybe this card is going to see play in, the Reshiram, Charizard, breaks and decks as sort of as a tech to maybe punish some Pokemon that do some really crazy ass attacks. I mean, I guess you could copy other Reshiram and Charizard GX's huge ass attack with just 3 energy. Since it's a V Pokemon though, it doesn't have any limitations like for copying GX attacks. So you could even copy a GX attack with this. So, like I've said, you could do some rat stuff. So, Ninetales V, solid Pokemon too. I'm going to look at all of the V Pokemon because it's technically the rarer cards in the set you want to get. So, yeah. Going down here, I don't want to forget anything. Okay, Cinderace V and Cinderace VMAX. So Cinderace, 210, a little bit better HP, just has Crimson Legs. Nothing really spectacular about this guy, except maybe, I guess, the Field Runner ability. If there's a stadium, this guy has no retreat cost. But you're going to use this if you want to use the Cinderace VMAX. So big-ass fire Pokemon with pretty strong attacks too, like Counter. It's kind of like Ninetales V. Wow, I'm getting a brain fart here, but it's kind of like a tech attack that's going to come up in certain situations, but if you use it right, it's powerful. So if this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn, this is going to do that much more damage, plus the 30 it starts with. So you could say it's kind of like a Rage or a Revenge attack. Not exactly maybe as good as that, but I guess it's something, just costs 2 energies. Your conventional attack is Max Power Ball, 170 with Burn. I mean, this Pokemon isn't really complicated, but I guess it's a strong fire Pokemon with high HP, VMAX, so maybe people are going to use it. I would say like Rillaboom is maybe more reliable. This is more of like just a plain Pokemon, plain attacks. Counter seems good, like I've said. I mean, you could do some nasty revenge attacks with this, but people are gonna play around it. With Ninetales V, at least you can sort of do it, copy an attack anytime you want on the active Pokemon. Your opponent can't do much about it, really. So this isn't really one of the greatest VMAXs here, but VMAX Pokemon nonetheless. Okay, moving down. I don't want to forget anything. You got this Gyarados here. I thought about mentioning this card in my merch index too, but I ended up not doing so. Technically, you can try and run this with Ice Moth and have like a Gyarados deck, and have a stage 1 with 180 HP that could do like 200 damage, discard the stadium. You're not going to get one-hit knockouts, but you're doing high damage using just the stage 1. I mean, I don't see this being that much better than Lapras or even better at all, but if you want to use like a 1 prize Pokemon, you like Gyarados, maybe. I guess it's one of the stronger stage 1s here. Okay, next up we got Milotic V. Now this is definitely a good V Pokemon. Better than the Cinderaces, I would say. With Aqua Impact, you start with 10, but you're going to do 50 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. So there's a stadium in here we're going to look at that boosts retreat cost. There's other methods, like with Pokemon abilities and stuff, that you can boost retreat costs. And if you attack Pokemon that have just big retreat costs, just naturally, you're going to do a lot of damage. I mean, with just 3 retreat, this does 160 for 3, so not bad. You go, anything bigger than that, and you do really high damage. Milotic V doesn't have like a vmax to evolve to, so this is basically what you get. But maybe you can make a deck out of it. It's a decent little V Pokemon. And Hypno Splash, 150 consistent with instant sleep. That could come in handy too, I suppose. There's always Ice Moth too. Right. So going down, we got Inteleon V and Inteleon VMAX for the last of the starter V Pokemon. This one, water Pokemon, a Snipe Shot, 40 Snipe. This is pretty good for an opening attack. Aqua Report, 130 for 3. That's not so good, but your opponent always reveals the hand. Alright. And then the VMAX here, Inteleon VMAX. This Pokemon is once again, only attacks, no ability. Just a straight up aggressive guy. Hydro Snipe, you do 60 for 1, and you may put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to their hand. That can be pretty good. You don't discard it. Maybe that would have been too broken. Instant discard. But even if you just put it into the hand, it's still energy removal, so it's a good little effect for a cheap, fast attack that does 60. And then Max Bullet, this is kind of like Darkrai GX's attack, but obviously stronger. You do 160 for 3, and you can do 60 to an opponent's bench Pokemon. Any bench Pokemon. Doesn't have to be GX or whatever. So, it's 220 total for 3. So that's pretty solid. I mean, you can't really complain about that. So, like I've said, not really any sort of, you can do like crazy combos with this. It's just powerful attacks, powerful Pokemon. Really, the only obvious thing you can do is the Rillabooms, combine those together and just have a deck. Try and get one-hit knockouts. Yeah. Now, going down, we got Esk or Esk V. This Pokemon is decent, I suppose. So when you attach water energy from your hand, you heal 30 damage from it. So obvious synergy with the Frost Moth. I was going to say Ice Moth. And Blizzard just does 120, and it's going to do 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So, once again, just a conventional, V Pokemon with respectable attacks and abilities. That's it, but it just might be enough, especially when the rotation happens, but that's a topic for another video. So, combo with Frostmoth, Blastoise, I guess, and expanded, or Aqua Patches if you want to do something with it. Another V Pokemon. I don't like this guy too much, like as a Pokemon too, the design, like an ice cube on a penguin, but anyway. The regular one, I think, yeah, it does something too. You got Ice Face. If this Pokemon is full HP, it takes 60 less damage from attacks. And Blizzard, it's kind of like a weaker version of the big guys, the V dudes, Blizzard. Okay, this, it's not so great anyway. Moving on to the really good cards. I guess Vica Volt here, I might give this a mention. So, this Pokemon is a stage 2, and I guess both attacks are decent. Thunder Jolt Beam, not so much, 170 for 4, and then you do 30 to yourself, but if you want to use this with triple acceleration energy, if people are going to use this, try and use it. They're going to use it for Powerful Storm, starting at 60 and then doing 20 more damage for each energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So this works with any energy. It doesn't say it's got to be lightning like Raichu. So You could say that's a little benefit, but it is a stage 2. You need a lot of energies, of course, to get one-hit knockouts, and Pokemon nowadays have a lot of HP. With the vmaxes, they go over 300. It won't be easy to get one-hit knockouts, but if you find a way to get a bunch of energies on the field, like maybe you try and go super risk, high risk, high reward, and go with Electro GX, for example, or another Pokemon, another tactic like that. You could attempt that. It is one of the better, stage 2s, I suppose. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But I just thought I'd mention it. You can do some high damage. Okay. Next up we got Bolton V. This Pokemon is really good for Electrify. You can essentially just grab lightning energies from your deck and attach them to your bench Pokemon in any way you like Geomancy from Xerneas. Get any 2 lightning energies and attach them. And then Bolt Storm is other attack, 30 more damage for each lightning energy attached to your Pokemon. So, yeah, even this might even be better than the Vica Volt because it's a basic. You can use Electrify too. Obviously, people are going to use this with the big lightning Pokemon like the Toxtricity from over here, if you want to go with that route. If you want to go the Reshiram Zekrom, or not Reshiram Zekrom, but I guess you could even do that. I mean, Pikachu and Zekrom, I was going to say, do this to power up that guy, and then get even more energies with him. You can do a bunch of stuff. Lightning has a lot of cards right now. So this is definitely one of the best V Pokemon in here, just because of this Electrify. You can get energy attached to any Pokemon. This sort of effect never goes wrong. This kind of attack. We got Toxtricity and Toxtricity VMAX. I suppose this might be the most maybe reliable VMAX over here. So the regular Toxtricity, I can never say this guy's name. You do Poison Jab, this is good, 1 for 20 with instant poison, synergy with the other attack and the VMAX. Electric Riot, if your opponent's active Pokemon is poison, 180 for 3, not bad. As lightning Pokemon, you can use Electro Powers, you can use Thunder Mountain. All the other lightning support cards, you guys are aware of them. And the VMAX is even stronger, lots of HP, and the Gmax Riot, you do 240 if your opponent's Pokemon is poisoned. And we also get the, where are you? There's a Garbodor in here. Yeah, there it is. That does instant poison with his effect, as long as there's a stadium out. So obviously these 2 cards are going to work together. Get instant poison, and you can constantly do 240 and stuff. So, where was I? Let's see. We looked at Toxtricity. We got this Perkuchin V. This Pokemon, I mean, it just has this counterattack Kurzap ability. If it's in the active spot and it's damaged, even if it's knocked out, you flip 3 coins, and for each heads you do 30 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So even though it's a coin flip, this kind of thing can go a long way, because, I mean, on average, even if you get like 1 heads, that's 30 damage. If you get 2, that's 60. So, that's a lot of damage for just not doing anything and just taking damage. It doesn't have high HP, so it's not really going to survive, but if you want to use it as a wall, I suppose, over other Pokemon, it could do some damage, I suppose. Depends on your tactic and, the other hit and switch Pokemon you're using. It's something. It's a solid ability. You can't deny that. Alright, next up we got a Pokemon that I really don't like, but I gotta mention it because it is one of the better cards. It's basically more fuel for the troll/stall decks, the bullshit decks, that's how I refer to them. You evolve into this Pokemon, and you can put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to the top of their deck. So, its energy removal, it doesn't discard, it goes into the top of the deck, but to be honest, going to the top of the deck might even be worse than losing it forever, because you stack cards on top of the deck, so maybe it becomes harder to deck them out, but You can do some fucked up combos with this, man. Stacking cards in your opponent's deck. I just don't understand why they keep printing cards like this. The bullshit stall decks are already problematic and expanded, and even standard, I would say. So, I don't know why they keep printing these cards, but for the guys that like these cards, I guess you're getting some other fucking card. Anyway. Okay, moving on. I got Galarian Cursula here. So, Galarian Cursula is basically good because of Perish Body, and that's it. Just a mediocre stage 1, 100 HP. Retreat is 2. Corner, I guess it's decent. It combines with Perish Body, but the star of the show is the ability here. So, if this guy dies by an attack, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's Pokemon dies too. It's Feign and Spell from Gengar from Stormfront, pretty much. This is extremely luck-based, but extremely powerful if you get heads. Imagine this dying from a VMAX Pokemon or a Tag Team GX Pokemon. Your opponent will be salty, for sure. Poison, effect damage, stuff like that, get over this effect. But with Corner, forcing your opponent, not being able to retreat, you kind of make their life more difficult to play around this effect. So, I do believe this card can't be very powerful. It's one of the better regular Pokemon in here. Luck-based, but powerful. Moving on. We got Alcremie too. I really like this card, to be honest, because its Decorate attack is the same thing that Dragonair did from Sun and Moon. You attach any number of basic energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. So, it says basic, it doesn't say any energy, and I remember Dragonair, you were able to attach special energies too. Oh, that was the crazy part. So they kind of fixed this, I guess, with this version. But this could still be, pretty rad. You can make some combos with just about any Pokemon. It depends on what you pair it up with. You can power up anything. You use this attack, and then next turn, attach any number of energies to any Pokemon. You can power up anything. So maybe we'll see some creative decks with this. Maybe not, but it's one of my favorite cards that I would say from this set. One of the better cards, I would say, with a bias. Okay, we got this guy now, the Dragapult V. I don't like this Pokemon, design-wise. It's one of the more boring pseudo-legends. But, this guy, if he moves from the bench to the active position, you do 140? 140. Kind of works like Galissapod GX, you could say. The VMAX is even stronger. You can do 60 for 1, ignore effects, and then Max Phantom. It's essentially 180 for 2. You do 130, and then 5 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like, bench Pokemon. So, yeah, powerful VMAX Pokemon, that's about it. Moving on. I don't want to take too long, but I don't want to forget anything either. We got... I don't think you do anything right. Yeah, you don't. My mistake. This guy does, though. So this Colossal, God. Anyway, this Pokemon here with Tar Generator, once per turn, you can attach a fire attach a fire energy and a fighting energy card, or one of each from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So this is double energy acceleration for fire and fighting. So yeah, it's Dynamotor on the stage 2, but you get 2 cards. So this is pretty powerful. If worst comes to worst, you can just get one, like a fire energy or fighting energy, and this can pair up with a lot of Pokemon. But even though it's a stage 2, I feel like this is incredibly powerful. It sort of speaks for itself, this sort of a crazy energy acceleration. There isn't exactly a Pokemon that, uses fire and fighting that will really make crazy good use of this Pokemon yet. But I think we're Probably gonna get one in the future. That's why they're giving us this. It'd be awesome if they gave us like a Primal Groudon V or some shit. I don't know. And you did this on that guy. They probably won't do it, but you never know. But one of the best cards in here for sure for energy acceleration. You can power up anything you want with this, so it's awesome. And we got the Sandaconda V. This Pokemon isn't really that great, just another V Pokemon. Attach fighting energy from your disco ball to this Pokemon. It would have been better if it wasn't any Pokemon. And then Sand Breath, 220, you discard 2 energy. Okay. The Phalanxes, these guys are much better. So Phalanx V and the Phalanx here, they work together. Phalanx V, for as many as you have out, you block 20 damage. So if you have all of them out, you're going to block 80 total. So it's like this guy has 240 HP. Its attack is decent too, but the best way to use this dude is to use it with the regular Phalanx. You use Skyfield and Expanded, you get all of these guys out, all of Phalanx V, and this guy will do 240 with Team Attack. You can use DC and the new Twin Energy, and you basically have yourself a deck right there. I mean, pretty simple. So, both Phalanx and Phalanx V, one of the better cards in here for sure. Oh god, I'm talking too fast here. Clarion Wheezing. So, another very good regular Pokemon. It's not going to show us this. Okay, there's a scan. But this Pokemon has a good attack and a good ability. 130 HP stage 1, so decent stats. As long as this guy is active, you negate every ability except for this ability. So it's really, really good. It's like a Garbodor, or like a Garbodor that just doesn't need a tool, but it's got to be active. So very, very busted. And Severe Poison, you poison your opponent's active Pokemon and you put 4 damage counters instead of 1. So, obviously in Expanded, you can use this with the Survivors, with the Verbank City Gym, and you got another simple ass deck. Add in a bunch of trainers like Crush and Hammers, a bunch of other sort of trainer Skeleton for disruption, and you got yourself a deck. In Standard, you can use the Toxicroak, it's a stage 1, and that guy can help too. And you got yourself a stage 1 deck just like that as well. So very simple Pokemon, you know, fairly obvious combos. But I think it might be really good. I mean, negating abilities is good, and you have a decent cheap attack. So, really nice. We got this, I mean, this is one of the most creepy ass, fucked up, you know, looking at your soul cards they ever made. I mean, Spiritomb is supposed to be like a fucked up, you know, scary Pokemon, like a ghost soul Pokemon. But this is a really fucked up art. Like, damn. But this guy basically discards the top card of each player's deck, and then Dribbling Grudge, you put a damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So, it's like a Battle Compressor guy, like for those decks. But, I mean, you can do some really high-ass damage. It's basically the opposite of the Oricorio that does damage according to your opponent's, you know, Pokemon over there. So, just thought I'd mention it. Right. I already talked about the Garbodor. Next up we got Malamar V, Malamar vmax. Oh my god, so many damn cards in here. So, Drag Off, Brain Shake. Not really too crazy. Yeah, switch and then do some damage. And then the VMAX, you just have Max Jammer. This does 180, and you choose a card from your opponent's hand, put it at the bottom of their deck. So, this is kind of a nasty effect. I mean, I'm actually thinking if people are going to try and make like a hand disruption deck out of this guy, because, you know, the Pokemon that usually have these kinds of attacks that do hand disruption, they usually have very low HP, and they die quickly. But this guy, you know, he'll take a hit for sure. I mean, with 310. You do need 3 Darkness Energies to do this attack, but there's ways to accelerate energies, as always. In Expanded, there's the Dark Patch too, so... This is kind of a nasty effect. I mean, I'm actually thinking if people are going to try and make like a hand disruption deck out of this guy, because, you know, the Pokemon that usually have this kinds of attacks that do hand disruption, they usually have very low HP, and they die quickly. But this guy, you know, he'll take a hit for sure. I mean, with 310. You do need 3 Darkness Energies to do this attack, but there's ways to accelerate energies, as always. In Expanded, there's the Dark Patch too, so... I mean, I don't know. Maybe people are going to try and do some hand disruption. I don't know if you're going to try and use this in Honchkrow GX or whatever. Um, I have no idea. But that instant hand disruption is strong. So, strong VMAX, Darkness Pokemon too. Indeed. I mean, one cool thing I guess you can do, even though this isn't a basic, Weavile GX is still in the format, so people can sort of try and use this guy as opposed to Darkrai Umbreon GX, Tyranitar, Greninja Zoroark that are getting more obsolete being GXs. You can try and use this guy and do hand disruption. Yeah. Let's see, we got... no, you don't do anything. It's the other one that does. But let's go down. Let's go down the Copera Javi. These guys are really good. So, 180 for 4 and Adamantine Press 90, and then you're gonna block 30. So strong metal Pokemon. What makes this Pokemon so busted, in my opinion, is this VMAX. So this has got to be one of the strongest VMAX cards in here for sure. One of the best cards, no doubt. Metal Pokemon with 340 HP, so you know what this means. You put the frying pan, it's going to tank for days. If you pair this up with something like the, what the hell is it called? The Lucario Melmetal, it's never going to die. You can use metal saucers to power it up with metal energies from the Disco Pile. And you got a deck. I mean, I don't want to be repeating myself from the emerging decks video that I made, but it is indeed one of the best cards. And you can make a deck out of this guy for sure. And if you're hitting a basic Pokemon, like the Tag Team GX and stuff, you can just do 200 for 3. So, you cannot go wrong. I mean, it's really high damage, really high HP. Metal Pokemon too. Busted. Okay. Going down now. Do not want to forget anything. We got this green dent here. This Pokemon, I mean, I don't really know what decks will make use of it. Maybe Rotom decks and expand it. I have no idea. Or Ninetales deck, but you can essentially get this guy out. This is a stage 1, and with this ability, you can grab a tool every turn and put it into your hand. So definitely a handy ability if your deck is focusing on tools. I guess maybe tool drop decks could use this. Excuse me. But, I mean, I don't know. It could be a useful ability. That's why I'm mentioning it. And then finally, we've come to the end of the Pokemon anyway. You got Dubwoolvee. Wow, that's a tongue twister. This is a very good, solid, generic tech Pokemon that you can use in any deck, really. It's a 210 HP V Pokemon with soft wool. It's going to block 30 damage too, so that's awesome. It's really a big tank Pokemon when you think about it. It's like a stage 2 GX pretty much that you don't evolve. And then Revenge Blast, this attack starts at 120 and it's going to do 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So you use this late game, you put like you can't use Twin, but you can use DC if you use this in Expanded. Another type of energy. And, I mean, it's a revenge attack. It's awesome, like Shaymin EX, like some other Pokemon, only much better. So if they've taken like 3 prizes, you can essentially do like 180 for 3. Or actually, no, what am I saying? Like, you can do 210 for 3. So, can't go wrong. I mean, 30 more if they took 4, so that's 240, 2, I think, 70. It's just very, very strong. I think it maxes out at like 270. So 5 times 3, yeah. 270, my man. Fuck me. And because it's colorless, you can use this in energy acceleration decks like fire decks with Welder. You can use this in you can't use it with Frostmoth, but if you use it in expanded with other decks that do energy acceleration like Blastoise, you can use it. You can use it with the Magnezones in standard. They're not going to be around for long, but you could. You can do many, many things, as always, when it's a colorless Pokemon and it works with any energy. So it's a really beautiful Pokemon, I would say. An excellent tech Pokemon. I definitely have my eyes on this to use it. Okay, now for some trainers. Boss's orders we looked at. You got this burn and scarf here. It's going to inflict burn if it's damaged by an attack. It's got to be a fire Pokemon, though, that you attach it to. You got the Bucket A, Capacious Bucket. I don't know why it says Bucket A here. But this is a Professor's Letter, but only for water energies. Could be good, though, for the Lapras Frostmoth deck. Got the Cursed Shovel. Fuck this card. It's one of those deck out cards again. Is attached to a Pokemon knocked out by damage. Discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. You got Dan. I think this guy wasn't in the Japanese set. This is a new card they put in here from like promos or whatever. Draw 2 cards and... Oh no, I know it. Yeah, you play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent. And if you win, you draw 2 cards and... wait, you and your opponent... If you win, you draw 2 more cards, and then if they win, I think they don't get anything either way. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, you're living off the chance, but you could draw 4 cards potentially, so that could be kind of cool. Yeah, they did this card the right way. Like instead of just doing like Charon, just draw 3. We got plenty of those around. Indeed. Full heal reprint, but I don't know if it's gonna really see use. We got the Galarmine here. The retreat cost of both Pokemon is 2 more, so this is gonna really help out your Milotic V. There's other Pokemon that could benefit from this that do more damage depending on the retreat. So, could be the stadium you wanted to see. We got Milo here. I don't really like this card. You discard 2 and then you draw 2 for each card you discarded. It is inferior in my opinion than both Roxy, that you draw more if you discard Pokemon, and the Roller Skater, that you draw 4 if you discard an energy. For the cost you pay and the cards you draw, I really don't like this. It's just not good exchange. I mean, if you want a generic dump and draw card, this might be for you, but I don't really like it. Next up, we got the damn Nugget here. So, this car outside, I don't know if you guys can hear it. But Nugget can only use this card if you do it from your deck at the beginning of your turn, before you put it into your hand, draw 3 cards. So, super luck-based hacks card. I don't like these kinds of cards, but if you find a way, I guess, to stack it, you can draw 3 cards for free, basically, with this. Is insane. I'm sure people are going to try and make combos, stacking it on their deck. God, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Macargo is still around from Celestial Storm. Why are they doing this to us? Anyway, we got Oleana now. This is pretty... this is pretty cool. I think it's that effect I'm remembering right. If you discard 2 other cards, your opponent reveals their hand and put a trainer card you find there on the bottom of their deck. Okay, so this is like hand disruption. You gotta discard 2 other cards from your hand. So I suppose it's a fair cost. Stall decks are gonna make use of this, but it is what it is. Good card. Pokeball reprint, Scoop Up Net, and the Twin Energy. Both this is basically a DC. And this, the Scoop Up Net, is essentially an instant scoop up, like a Scoop Up Cyclone. But it only works on regular Pokemon, and I guess EX Pokemon. Surprise, surprise, like from the Black and White and X and Y era. Anything else, like if it's a V or GX, it's not going to work. But just about anything else, it works. So, this is pretty interesting. It's help for regular Pokemon, but the old EXs will be able to make use of this too, and like the Mega Evolution Pokemon. Scala is coming back, which is awesome. Love it. And then we got Sonia. This is like your, well, Roseanne's Research, if you ever heard of that card. But you can't pick. You gotta get 2 Pokemon or 2 basic energies. You can't get like an energy and a Pokemon. And it's got to be basic Pokemon too, not what it says here. So, or I don't know, can you get like, it says up to 2 basic or up to 2? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think, I'm not sure if you can get one of each, like Roseanne's research. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I guess we'll find out. But I think the way it's worded, you can't. But I could be wrong, though. If it works like Roseanne, I mean, it's good, because you can get a combination of basic and energies, too. Kind of outclassed, I would say. This sort of effect was good in a specific format in DP because of the way the trainers we had back then. Right now, I don't know if it's going to be really good, but you never know. Tool Scrubber is coming back. That's awesome. And then Trainer's Court. Once during turn, that player may put a basic energy card from the discard pile into the hand. So, like an energy retrieval, like a mini energy retrieval every turn. So, this is a good stadium because, you know, Mat Coronet you can get to like with metal, but other decks that can't use that, this might be like a nice stadium for them. Indeed. And we got the Turffield Gym. Yeah, this something does with grass. You can search your deck for an evolution grass Pokemon and then put that into your hand. So it's really good. So more help for Rillaboom, I suppose, and other grass Pokemon. Okay, and then the last cards we're going to look at is these 3 energies. I don't think there's anything else. The rest is just like full arts and secret rares. The capture energy. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with call energy, but this is basically like a mini call energy, like a single call energy. You attach this to one of your Pokemon, and then you search for your deck for a basic Pokemon, and you put it onto your bench. Now, the good news is that you don't waste your turn attacking. It's like your turn doesn't end. So, you know, that's the point. That's the point of this. It's that it doesn't work like call energy. I think call energy, no, it has nothing to do with attacking. It's just your turn ended when you did this, I believe. So this, you get 1, but your turn doesn't end. So, with the new rule changes, I think this card is basically very, very good. It's going to see a lot of play, or at least some play. I think people are going to really test it and try it out because it just makes things more interesting when it comes to playing first or second. What you really want to do, what really is the best option for decks. The problem when you go first is that you don't really have very great ways to get basic Pokemon besides like Quick Ball and Dedenne and stuff. This is going to help mitigate that, give you another good option. So I like this card. And then we got the Speed Lightning Energy and then the Horror Psychic Energy. I think these cards are basically like, as long as this card is attached to Pokemon, it provides Psychic Energy. So if this Psychic Pokemon this card is attached to is damaged, you do 2 damage counters to the opposing Pokemon. And then the Speed Lightning Energy, when you attach this card, you can do a Lightning Pokemon, draw 2 cards. Oh, this is actually busted. I don't remember seeing this card having this effect. Fuck. Okay, Jesus, so we learned something new here. I mean, another crazy card for the Lightning decks. Okay. Right. So, I have a feeling that I went too fast and I was like rambling non-stop, but I think we covered all, if not all, then most of the best cards from this set. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Snorlax here. This guy just has high HP. Okay. What do you do? I don't remember you doing much. Oh no, this is a good attack. The Metal Sharpener. 30 for 1 and attach a metal energy to one of your Pokemon. So, pretty good. It kind of works like Registeel. This is actually very good. So, more help for the metal decks. Like if you want to use your Elephant, Copper Jaw VMAX, or some other Pokemon, you can definitely use this. I mean, you can even use this with Arceus and shit. Okay, I don't believe I'm forgetting anything else. I'm sure there's other Pokemon that might have like some interesting abilities or effects and stuff. But I really wanted to look at the best of the best. And if I'm forgetting something, well, I guess I'm forgetting something. So, this is the set, guys. I really wanted to get this video out sooner, but I'm having a lot of technical difficulties with my equipment. Besides everything else going on right now, you know, with the quarantines and stuff, I mean, you guys know the drill. We have a lot of problems. But, I mean, I have like other issues with my equipment and some other bullshit going on, so I hope everything is good because I really want to have this be a good set launch. Show you guys some new decks from the new set. I've prepared to buy like a lot of packs for the newest set to hopefully get the new cards and show you guys some cool stuff. But it just seems like every fucking set launch, something goes wrong with me. Something just happens and I fail. I hope this time I manage to do it and show you guys some new decks. Whether it's Rillaboom VMAX, whether it's Copperjaw, whether it's some other decks here. I just want to show you guys some new shit at launch. So you guys see how you can use these decks like Melodic V and the other cards. So, for a sort of brief summary, best cards you want to get are definitely Eldegoss V and the Boss's Orders. Those are the big cards. Of course, other stuff like the special energies like Tool Scrapper, Skyla, the Twin Energies, Scoop Up Net. These are just, it depends more on your decks that you're using. But obviously, they're very useful cards. We have a lot of excellent trainers over here, for sure. And I think the biggest impact of this set is going to be through some of the trainers and energies, not really from the Pokemon. Besides Eldegoss V, because that Pokemon's awesome. And yeah, I do believe that Eldegoss V, it might even have like the money prize of like the Dane Shamey. You know, it's going to reach that level, I believe. Because it's just that good. This sort of effect is just too good. The V is secret effect. Yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this set review. Hope you guys subscribe to the channel. Leave a like and share this video with your friends. Thank you guys for watching as always. And hopefully I see you guys with the new decks. Some new decks from Rebuild Clash and stuff. I probably won't be posting any other videos until we get this set available and I get cards and build decks. There's no point in me showing matches when in a few days we get Rebuild Clash. But anyways, this has been SaberWolf94, and we'll say